Chapter 6. Our last rehearsal happened to be the night before the potluck supper. Now, a potluck is when everybody brings some dish, and you put it on a big, huge table, and then you sit down, you pray, and then you go through and you take a scoop of so-and-so's corn, and a scoop of so-and-so's beans, and a scoop of so-and-so's tater tot hot dish, and a piece of chicken, and that's what a potluck is. Everybody brings one pot, and then see what you get. And when we got there, the kitchen was full of ladies in aprons, counting out dishes and silverware and making applesauce cake for dessert. "I'm sorry about this," one of the ladies told Mother, "but with so much to do at this time of the year, the committee decided to come in this evening and set up the tables and all. I just hope we won't bother you." "Oh, you won't," Mother said. "We won't be in the kitchen. You won't even know we're here." Mother was wrong. Everybody in the end of the town knew we were there before the evening was over. "Now this is going to be a dress rehearsal," Mother told us all. And right away 3 or 4 baby angels began hollering that they forgot their wings. Half of the angel choir had forgotten their robes, and Hobie Carmichael said he didn't have any kind of costume. "Wear your father's bathrobe," Charlie told him. "That's what I do." "He doesn't have a bathrobe." "What does he hang around the house in?" "His underwear," Hobie said. I looked at Alice Wendican to see if she was going to write that down on her pad of paper, but Alice was standing all by herself in a corner, patting her hair. Her hair was all washed and curled, and her robe was clean and pressed. She had even put Vaseline on her eyelids so they would shine in the candlelight, and everyone would say, "Who is that lovely girl in the angel choir? Why isn't she Mary?" I guess Alice was afraid to move, for fear she might spoil herself. "Don't worry about your wings," Mother said. "The main point of the dress rehearsal isn't the costume. The main point is to go right straight through without stopping, and that's what we're going to do, just as if we were doing it for the whole congregation. I'm going to sit in the back of the church and be the audience." But it didn't work that way. The baby angels came in the wrong place and had to go back out again. And the whole gang of shepherds didn't come in at all for fear of Gladys. Imogen couldn't find the baby Jesus doll and wrapped up a great big memorial flower urn in the blanket and then dropped it on Ralph's foot. And half the angel choir sang away in the manger while the other half sang O Little Town of Bethlehem, so we had to start over a lot. "I've got the baby here," Imogen barked at the wise men. "Don't touch him! I named him Jesus." That's not exactly how it's supposed to go. "No, no, no," Mother came flying up the aisle. "Now, Imogen, you're not supposed to say anything. Nobody says anything in our pageant except for the angel of the Lord. And the choir sings carols. Mary and Joseph and the wise men make a lovely picture for us to look at while we think about Christmas and what it means." So they weren't really acting out here. They were just acting with no words. It was just the songs in the background. I guess Mother had to say things like that, even though everybody knew it was a big lie. The Herdmans didn't look anything out of the Bible, more like a trick-or-treat Imogen. Imogen even had a great big gold earring, and she wouldn't take them off. "Now, Imogen," Mother said, "you know Mary didn't wear earrings." "I have to wear these," Imogen said. "Why is that?" "I got my ears pierced, and if I don't keep something in them, they'll grow together." Now that sounds like the truth, right? "Well, they won't go together in an hour and a half," Mother said. "No, but I better leave them in." Imogen pulled on her earrings, which made you shudder. It was like looking at a picture from National Geographic of natives with their ears stretching all the way to their shoulders. "Well, what did the doctor say about leaving something in them?" Mother said. "What doctor?" "Well, who pierced your ears?" "Gladys." "Ah! You're crazy." "Gladys pierced my ears," Imogen said. That really made you shudder. The thought of Gladys Herdman piercing your ears, I thought she probably used an ice pick. And for the next 6 months, I kept watching Imogen to see if her ears turned black and fall off. "All right," Mother said, "but we'll try to find you something smaller and more appropriate for you to wear in the pageant. Now we all start again and go right, straight through, and I think I ought to tell you what his name is," Imogen said. "No, besides, you remember, it wasn't Mary who named the baby." "I told you," Ralph whacked Imogen on the back. "I named him." "Joseph didn't name the baby either," Mother said. "God sent an angel to tell Mary what his name should be," Imogen sniffed. "I would have named him Bill." Alice Wendican sucked in her breath. and I could hear her scratching down some pad of paper that Imogene Herman would have called the baby Bill instead of Jesus. What angel was that? Ralph wanted to know. Was that Gladys? No, Mother said. Gladys is the angel who comes to the shepherds with the news. Yeah, Gladys said. Unto you a child is born, she yelled at the shepherds. Unto me, Imogene yelled back at her. Not them, me. I'm the one who had the baby. No, 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 Mother sat down in the front pew. This just means that Jesus belongs to everybody. Unto all of us a child is born now. She sighed. Let's start again. And she was going to say go right straight through. Why didn't they let Mary name her own baby? Imogene demanded. What did the angel do? Just wake up and say, name him Jesus? Yes, Mother said, because she was in a hurry to get finished. But Alice Windekin had to open her big mouth. I know what the angel said, Alice piped up. She said, his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. We just had a devotion on the name of Jesus the other day. I could have hit her. My goodness gracious, Imogene said. He'll never get out of first grade if he had to write all that. There was a big crash in the back of the church, and as if somebody dropped all the collection of plates. But it wasn't the collection of plates. It was Mrs. Hopkins, the minister's wife, dropping the whole tray of silverware. I'm sorry, she said. I was just passing by, and I thought I'd take a peek. Would you like to sit down and watch the rehearsal, Mother asked? No, Mrs. Hopkins couldn't seem to take her eyes off of Imogene. I'd better go check on the applesauce cake. You didn't have to say that, I told Alice, all that about wonderful everlasting Father and all. Why not, Alice said, patting her hair. I thought Imogene wanted to know. By that time, everyone was hot and tired, and most of the baby angels had to go to the bathroom. So Mother said, we would take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll start all over, she said, looking sort of hopeless. And we will go right straight through without stopping, won't we? Well, we never did go right straight through. The 5-minute recess was a big mistake because it stretched to 15 minutes, and Imogene spent the whole time smoking cigars in one of the johns, that's one of the stalls, in the ladies' room. Then Mrs. Homer McCarthy went to the ladies' room and opened the door and smelled something funny and saw the smoke. And she ran right to the church office and called the fire department. We were singing Angels We Have Heard on High. That's the best I could do. When what we heard was the fire engine pulling up on the lawn of church. With the siren blaring and the red lights flashing, the firemen hurried in and made all of us go outside, and we dragged a big hose in the front door and went to look for a fire to put it out. The street was full of baby angels crying, shepherds climbing all over the fire truck, and firemen, and all the ladies on the potluck committee, and neighbors who came to see what was going on, and Reverend Hopkins, who ran over from the parsonage, that's his house, hint, 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 we need that one, in his pajamas and his woolly bathrobe. Nobody knew what had happened, including the Herdmans, but I guess they figured that whatever it was, they had done it. So they left. Why in the world did you call the fire department, Mother asked Mrs. McCarthy when she finally heard the whole story. Because the ladies' room was full of thick smoke. It couldn't have been, Mother said. You just got excited. Didn't you know it was cigar smoke? Mrs. McCarthy stared at her. No, I didn't. I didn't expect to find cigar smoke in the ladies' room of church. She wheeled around and marched back into the kitchen. But by that time, the kitchen was fuller of smoke than the ladies' room, because while everyone was milling around in the street, all the applesauce cake burned up. Oh, my goodness. Of course, the ladies on the potluck committee were mad about that. Mrs. McCarthy was mad, and Alice and her mother would be good and mad when she heard about it. Most of the baby angels' mothers were mad because they couldn't find out what had happened, and somebody said Mrs. Hopkins was mad because Reverend Hopkins was running around the street in his pajamas. It turned out to be one great, big, sinful thing Alice kept hoping for. Mrs. Wendelken read Alice's notes, got on the phone that very night, and called up everybody she could think of in the Ladies' Aid and the Women's Society, and she called most of the flower committee and all the Sunday school teachers and Reverend Hopkins. Uh-oh, she's causing lots of trouble now. And Reverend Hopkins came to see Mother. I can't make head or tail of it, he said. Some people say they set fire to the ladies' room. Some people say they set fire to the kitchen. One lady told me that Imogene threw a flower pot at Ralph. Mrs. Wendelkin says all they do is talk about things they shouldn't. That was Hobie Carmichael, Mother said, talking about underwear. And they didn't set a fire to anything. The only fire was in the kitchen, when the potluck committee let their applesauce cake burn up. Well, Reverend Hopkins looked unhappy. The whole church is in an uproar. Do you think we should call off the pageant? Certainly not, Mother said. By that time she was mad too. Why, it's going to be the best Christmas pageant we've ever had. Of all the lies she has told so far, that was the biggest. But you had to admire her. It was like General Custer saying, "Bring on the Indians." Now later in the year we'll hear about General Custer and Custer's last stand, and he fought a really, really epic battle in the Great Plains against the Indians. Maybe so, Reverend Hopkins said. I'm just afraid that no one will come to see it. But was he wrong? Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do. Chapter 7, grand finale tomorrow. Make your predictions tonight. Do you think that the Herdmans will be able to go right straight through without ever going right straight through in a dress rehearsal? Do you think the thing will be a flop? Do you think there'll be clonks on the head and tripping and falling and baby angels' wings everywhere? Do you think the Herdmans will even show up? Well, we'll find out tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at today's Chapter 6 quiz. During the dress rehearsal, what was Imogene wearing that she refused to remove? A golden crown, a superhero cape, high-heeled shoes, or earrings? Number 2, what did Imogene want to name the baby instead of Jesus? Bill, Jason, Prince, or Herman? Number 3, why did Mrs. McCarthy call the fire department? The kitchen was on fire. She saw thick smoke in the bathroom. The Herdmans were destroying the church. There were flames coming from the cake. And number 4, what was the only thing on fire at the church? The applesauce cake, the bathroom, the baby doll, or the angel costumes? Back into your Wednesday folder with that one. Here comes the sheet that's moving from folder to folder. Today, we did number 5. You had it on your own. Number 6 was the parsonage, and we gave you the big hint today that it was a place where the pastor lived. E. We might as well take 7. Confer. Does that mean discuss? Or does it mean a natural way of thinking born with? And instinct was the other one. All right. Tomorrow, we're going to finish our story map. So you can put this one in your Thursday folder, this quiz one in your Wednesday folder, and we will finish up tomorrow. No class on Friday.